Okay, let's dive in. We've got a really interesting set of sources today, all focused on, well, this big intersection of global sports and music. Our goal is to unpack what these sources tell us about Linkin Park's recent performance, specifically at the UEFA Champions League Final in 2025. The material sets the scene pretty clearly. The final, Paris Saint-Germain versus Inter Milan, held at the Allianz Arena, iconic venue.
Yeah, and the sources really hammer home just how massive this event is. Champions League Final, I mean, it's not just football, is it? It's a global moment. It's broadcast to, over 200 countries. The audience reach is just enormous, and it's become this platform, hasn't it, for these big cultural things like the kickoff show presented by Pepsi. The sources highlight that as a major part of the whole spectacle.
Absolutely. And right at the center of all this, according to our sources, is the band, Linkin Park. The info we gathered suggests this performance was, well, pretty significant, mostly because, as you probably know, the band took quite a long break after 2017. So their appearance here, the sources seem to indicate, is tied right into their comeback and their current world tour as a whole other layer to it.
And looking at the band itself, the sources give us some specifics on who actually performed there at the Allianz Arena. You had the core guys, Mike Shinoda, Dave Farrell, Joe Hahn, Brad Delson, all there. But crucially, the sources point out the introduction of their new singer, Emily Armstrong, and the new drummer, too, Colin Britton. Apparently, this new lineup was only announced back on September 5th, 2024. So this final performance was like a huge global reveal for this new chapter of the band.
Okay, so this refreshed lineup, what did the performance actually involve? According to the sources, what did they play? It looks like a mix of old and new. The set list mentioned includes the Emptiness Machine, In the End, Numb, and also Heavy as the Crown. But what's interesting, what the sources flag are these unique bits they added just for the show, like a Numb UEFA remix intro, and also incorporating another track up from the bottom into the Heavy as the Crown performance. So they didn't just phone it in, they adapted the material.
Exactly. And this really connects to the success they've been having since they returned, which the sources document quite well. There are references to their From Zero Deluxe Edition, the one with the new songs. The Emptiness Machine in particular gets a shout out. The sources actually call it the biggest rock song of 2024. Pretty impressive. And it backed that up, right? Hitting #1 on Billboard's Rock and Alternative Airplay chart, held it for 15 weeks. Plus, the album From Zero debuted at #1 in, 14 countries? So you have this recent momentum, but the sources also remind us of their history, selling 100 million records worldwide, winning awards, those 2 Grammys. Performing at the final puts that huge legacy right alongside their sort of vibrant current phase, all on this massive global stage.
Right. And it's clear from the list in the sources, the Champions League Final always gets big names for this kickoff show. Past performers mentioned include people like Dua Lipa, Camila Cabello, Lenny Kravitz, really top-tier artists. So the sources are definitely positioning Linkin Park as headliners on that same level, right there with global stars.
So pulling it all together from these sources, what we really see is the story of a legendary band making a very significant return, and doing it on one of the biggest stages imaginable, with new members, with new music that's already smashing charts, and delivering a performance that thoughtfully blended their massive hits with some fresh, tailored content for the event itself, all seen by millions globally.
Which leaves us to something for you to think about, based on everything these sources suggest about this Linkin Park show.
Yeah.
When you see these huge global sporting events like the Champions League Final increasingly folding in these high-profile music acts, what is this specific example, this Linkin Park performance? Tell us about how sports and entertainment are sort of merging to reach that worldwide audience. How's that relationship evolving?